on Prime Video, and this is the film Freelance. Scott, can you introduce this to us?
Yeah, so in this one, John Cena stars as a soldier turned lawyer turned security protection guy who is tasked with protecting a journalist overseas. And of course, things don't go as planned. Here's a clip.
Wave to mommy, because she'll hate me even more than she already does if you don't.
I seem to recall you saying that becoming a lawyer would only crush your soul.
Yeah, it has.
I'm running a business, and right now that business is getting a journalist and Annetta Paldonia.
No.
It's a one-off.
No, and no. Who's a journalist?
I have resigned my position here.
Not interested.
20 grand says you are.
Okay, that's John Cena, who I'll pronounce his name right. I got all sorts of internet shit when I did an early podcast and I pronounced his name Senna or something, but John Cena. Who's going to start? Scott, why don't we stay with you for your views on Freelance?
Yeah, so I kind of figured that this one was going to be fairly generic, and it was. I thought, I like Cena, and I especially like Cena in comedy roles. I mean, I've been a fan of his since, 2002, 2003, since his wrestling days, but I've always been a fan of him in general. And he does bring charisma to films like this, where you're not expecting anything of great quality, but you just want a bit of a fun time. And we kind of get that, where they're going around sort of destroying things, beating people up, machine gun fire everywhere. We've seen films like that a lot. There was the one recently with Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock, who I can't remember, but Lost City, yeah. I was thinking of that sometimes when I was watching this one. Yeah. We get to see John Cena and Alison Brie have some good comedic chemistry here and there. Alison Brie plays the journalist. The whole thing is she's there to interview someone in some made-up country in Africa, I believe. And
South America.
There's a military.
South America it is, I
was
think.
it South America they were at?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Pandemia or something like that, I think it was.
Something, yeah. At first they said it and I was like, is that a place that I just don't know? And I was like, no, I think they knew that. So yeah, this one, it's hard to really describe it because there's not much to say. We've sort of seen it before. It's a generic action movie. There's fun to be had in a switch your brain off type of way. If you like that kind of thing, it passes the time okay.
Okay. Emma, you've seen this one as well?
I have. Yeah, again, like you see the trailer for this and you're like, it's going to be terrible, but I'll watch it anyway. I really enjoyed myself. I was fed up of having to think about things. You know, it was my last day off until going back to work. And it's just a good laugh. But it is exactly like Lost City, just less inept male character. And Superman, where Amy Adams is out interviewing someone. So mix that and Lost City together, and you get this. And like genuinely, there were some awkward moments where they're like, "We need to make it look like he's going to cheat on his wife with Alison Brie." I mean, I don't feel that's a spoiler because that happens in all of these movies. And that was awful. I really hated that bit because it was so awkward and bizarre. But I just really enjoyed it. Like I say, it's not anything fantastic, but as Scott said, you can turn your brain off and watch this.
I think The Lost City was a masterpiece compared to this, I have to say. I don't know where to start on this one. I kept doing a running commentary to the illustrious Mrs. Movie Man, who was doing a jigsaw on the table, not watching the film, but she kept looking over at me. I kept saying, "No, what are you doing? I thought it was just, I thought it was so ludicrous. I mean, first of all, John Cena and Alison Brie are at one point are dumped in the middle of a jungle, right? And they're running away from these machine gun toting people in a helicopter. So they're in the woods, they're in the middle of this dense forest, and they're also being pursued by two guys with machine guns on foot. So what do they decide to do? They don't decide to go into a dense bit of forest. No, they decide to ford this great wide river in the open area. And the helicopter comes around and starts machine gunning them and firing bazookas at them from this helicopter. Doesn't hit them, obviously. And this is the only helicopter in the history of aviation that doesn't actually know how to hover, right? What do you do if you're in a helicopter with a machine gun? You hover over the people in the middle of this river. You don't even need a machine gun. You take your little gun out and you go, bang, you're dead, and you're dead. But no, right. Where are the two guys on the ground with the machine gun? Right, they didn't get to the river in time, even though they're just behind them in the forest. Oh no, they wait until they're right across and oh God. And the only reason I can see for them fording through the river is that Alison Brie could get her white blouse nice and wet, right? And nice and wet and see-through for a couple of frames, right? And then she takes it off later anyway, right? Because like you said, Emma, she's throwing herself at John Cena like a thing possessed. Get more side boob shot of Alison Brie in this film than you ever wanted to see, right? I mean, not that she's not an attractive young lady. I thought at the beginning. Stop digging the hole.
I
thought at the beginning she was Natalie Imbruglia, right? She had that kind of look, but I'm probably 10 years out of date. And there's another scene, right? Don't get me started, right? Where they're trying to get away on horseback, right? And this guy is in the middle of the street. John Cena rides up like some John Wayne, Roy Rogers character, and tries to get this president onto a horse. And the baddie guy's got a gun, and there's like three people shooting at them from close range. They don't even hit the horse. Right? The horse is fine. The two characters are fine, right? These people were trained at Stormtrooper College, right, in their shooting ability. Oh, I mean, I'm afraid I need just that. I understand escapism. I thought it was very much like Romancing the Stone. It was trying to get that kind of feel to it. But it was so ludicrous. Yeah. And don't get me started on the final battle scenes in the... No. It wasn't for me. It wasn't my cup of tea, right, this film.
Couldn't tell, Bob.
Yeah. Sorry, that's my rant of the day. Scores on the doors. You've not seen this, Andy?
No, I saw it. I watched it this afternoon.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
okay, I'm sorry. And you were not on my list as somebody who'd seen this film. But...
no, I caught it very late this afternoon. I was thinking Romancing the Stone even more than Lost City, if I'm honest with you. And Jordan and Nile, of course, comes into play as well, although not quite so much. But I thought, I mean, it's pure escapist nonsense. And, you know, on a wet afternoon in Milton Keynes with a glass of something strong, it entertained. Strong. It entertained, but that's about it.
Right. Sorry, apologies for cutting you out with my rant.
That's not a problem at all.
Scores on the doors. Scott?
6.
Emma?
It's 7 from me.
Andy?
6 from me.
6. And I've given this one a 4. So that is 10, 16, 23 divided by 4 is 5.75, I think it is.
Just because I was looking at trivia for this, and evidently it hit Rotten Tomatoes with a 0.
Oh.
Currently the reviewer score is 6%. The audience score is 77%.
Oh, there you go. It's one of those films. Yeah.
And I just feel like we just have more fun than the serious reviewers.
Oh dear. Yes. Well, I'm afraid I'm with the serious reviewers on this one, but there you go. We all have different tastes in movies, so that's good. Okay, unfortunately, I was going to say The Lost City, but it's not The Lost City. It's Freelance on Prime Video. Gets a miss from us.